if your child started neurologically focused chiropractic care and their scans have started to show improvement, but it doesn't seem like their issues that they're dealing with have improved, like maybe they're still having meltdowns, or they are still struggling with tummy time, or struggling with breastfeeding, or they have sensory overload, that's still a daily battle. Just know this, it's okay. You've been down a long road, and so it can feel really exhausting. Maybe you've tried all the different things like changing their diet, you've tried all the different exercises and supplements and multiple different specialists, and now finally you thought you'd found something that was going to make all the difference, but it doesn't seem like it's making the difference. The key word here, it doesn't seem like it's making the difference yet, okay? So the key thing is to stay consistent, because when you look at your child's scans, we start to see that their scans are starting to show less red, they're maybe starting to show a little bit more green, a little bit more white in their scans, and scores that show progress, right? So what a lot of parents think is, okay, things are getting better, why isn't my child improving? And I want to let you know it's okay to think that, but just know this, oftentimes change is just around the corner. So that moment where you see progress in the scans but not in everyday life is one of the most important yet misunderstood moments in the healing journey. It's not a sign that the care isn't working, it's a sign that your child's nervous system is healing exactly the way it's intended, from the inside out, and neurologically, that's the only way to get lasting, true change, okay? So here's the deal. Healing isn't linear. I talk to parents about this all the time. If there's one pathway to wellness and just healing and being perfectly healthy all the time, we'd all take it, right? We'd all have the six-pack overnight if we could, right? But that's not how it works. It's consistent effort over time. It's like that puts money in the bank, and eventually the money in that bank can be used for something greater, right? And so being consistent when your kid has been stuck in fight or flight for the majority of their life, or if they're a little bit older of a kid and they've been stuck in fight or flight for 10, 15 years, just know this, a lot of the scans are going to look pretty stressed to begin with. And once we start giving the nervous system more appropriate information and things to work on, those scans might improve within just a few weeks in a very significant way. But the sensory meltdowns, the potential breastfeeding issues, the tummy time issues, those things might take a little bit more time and they might still pop up. That's okay. It's not failure. It's that the nervous system is finally coming back online and getting the right information. And again, it's just a matter of time and a little bit more consistency before we start to see those things shift and change. One of the things that I'll talk about with a lot of parents is what the scans actually tell us. So one of the first scans that we do, anytime we do a scan, whether it's somebody's first visit or their second reassessment or their third reassessment, is we always start with heart rate variability, because heart rate variability tells us if your child is stuck in a fight or flight mode, a stress mode, and if they're shifting towards a rest and digest and regulate and heal, relax mode. So that one's really important to start off with first, because that gives us a baseline for everything else when it comes to the rest of the scans. The next scan that we do is called a neuromuscular scan, or an SEMG scan. This looks at the neuromuscular tension patterns along the neurospinal system, and it tells us how much effort and energy is being utilized for their nervous system to do all the things that it needs to do. So a kiddo that has a higher neuromuscular energy is going to be a child that's probably really feels like they just are always on the go, right? They're always moving around all the time. A kid that's on a little bit lower neuromuscular energy might be one of those more lethargic acting kids, maybe even a little bit clumsy type of kid, because their nervous system isn't being able to use the energy that it needs. It's fatigued and tired and needs help. The next scan that we do is a thermal scan. The thermal scan measures temperature differences from left to right on the neurospinal system, and if there's higher levels of stress stuck on the nervous system, it creates heat or irritation and inflammation within the nervous system, and that affects the coordination and function of really key critical systems and organs within the body. And when we see stress that gets stuck on in this way, that indicates that the nervous system is not functioning as optimally as it could. So these scans and these tools really give us a real-time window of what's going on with your child's nervous system right now and the trajectory of where we're going to go from scan to scan. It's not just the symptoms that are showing up, it's that we know the nervous system is stressed out, and so that's why the symptoms are showing up, right? And we know this for sure, regulation within the nervous system always precedes dysfunction and symptom relief. In traditional medicine, we're taught to chase the signs and the symptoms, less pain, right? Less behavior, fewer outbursts, and then we call that healing, which the truth is, that's really, really nice, but the real truth is symptoms are usually the last thing to show up when dysfunction starts, and they're the last thing to go away when healing begins. So when those insight scans show progress, even if your child's behavior hasn't caught up with that yet, that's a radar that's clearing up before the storm even passes, which is so cool. Now, think of your child's nervous system like this. It's a highway system. It's been overloaded with traffic and detours and potholes for years and years and years and years, right? It takes time to rebuild that, right? If you live here in Utah, you know that I-15 is a never-ending construction project, right? The brain is remarkably adaptable. We call that neuroplasticity, but it's not instant, right? Neuroplasticity, it takes time. It starts by rewiring the nervous system. Then it comes learning how to use those new pathways. And that's what those insight scans are showing us, is the groundwork for healing. So the meltdowns might still happen, but now they're happening on a rewiring nervous system that's actually capable of learning new neurological patterns so that those things start to stop happening, if that makes sense. Many of the families that we have come through our doors are walking through what we call the perfect storm, which is the sequences and stressors that get a kid to where they're currently at. And that starts as early as pregnancy. It starts with birth trauma. It starts with following birth trauma. Then there's developmental delays, environmental triggers. All these things are what wires a child's nervous system to live in a survival mode. And so when we adjust and release that stored stress, we don't just mask the symptoms, we actually address the neurological root. And just like it took time for the storm to appear and build up, it takes time for that system to heal too. So if you're seeing better scans with your kid, but you're still waiting for better days, hold on, you're definitely in the right place and you're doing the right things. It really is just a matter of time and a little bit more consistency that's going to get us that really good change. And your child's nervous system is doing exactly what it needs to right now. It's healing from the inside out. And again, that just takes time. So if you're curious about what your child's scans are really saying and you've been a little bit confused, make sure to ask for clarity from me. Or if you're new to this whole chiropractic thing and you want to figure out what your kid's scans look like so that we can walk through this journey with you, just let us know and we're happy to help. Have a great rest of your day.